Even now I curse the day. And yet, I think few come within the compass of my curse, wherein I did not some notorious ill, as kill a man, or else rises death. Ravish a maid, or blood, the way to do it. Oft have I killed dead men and set them upright at their dear friend's door. Shakespeare. How I love thee. Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is David Nates, and today's topic is going to be how to get started with acting. First of all, you need to understand that acting can come to many forms. The first thing that you'll have to do is probably take a class, because when you do take a class, well, you're going to be introduced to many different kind of plays, and you're going to have a teacher that's going to be able to guide you. And at the same time, you're going to be able to make friends that are actually interested in theater and with whom you'll be able to actually do some acting. And also, if you're taking an acting class, you need to take into consideration what kind of acting you want to do. There's improv, there's comedy, there's drama, there's theater, there's dance. I do like to put dance into the whole medium too, because even though it's not necessarily acting, well, you do have to have emotions in it. Smile, sad, because the music, the dance, all these things will create different emotions, but at the same time, you're also performing in front of an audience. If you're doing theater, well, you're going to most probably do something much bigger and grand with big gestures and big words, and you're going to have to resonate your voice. Whereas if you're going to do filmmaking kind of acting, well, you're going to have to speak less loud and it's going to be much more real. Don't be afraid to explore different classes, because you might go into a city college class or a university class, or you might just take a class that somebody recommended you to, and then you see the acting style of the teacher teaching it, and you might not like it. It's not because somebody is learning well with somebody's method that you're going to learn well with that method too. It also has to do a lot with the people that are in the class. So maybe just sometimes you're not going to really have any people that have stuff in common with you, or maybe they're not hardworking and stuff like that. Most of the time they are, because if you're paying for a class, well, the people that are in it are usually excited about it. But what I'm trying to say is, don't get stuck within one class if you don't enjoy it, or if you don't think that you're learning. You're going to have to choose if you want it to just be a hobby or a career. And also, by exposing yourself to different type of acting methods, well, you might also see that you might prefer being behind the camera, or you might prefer being the guy who does the lights, or a gaffer, or doing the editing and stuff like that. Or you might even prefer doing the whole directing thing, because this is a big part of the whole acting career, is understanding actors. And good directors usually will also take some acting classes, at least a little bit, so that they can actually get the actor in the right direction when they have to portray this or that person. Which brings me back again to this whole thing that most people don't see all the hard work that people are putting into these short films or into these plays in order to get them up and running. They only see the final product. For example, for me, well, I just had this wonderful idea after watching all these different films where they had rain, and I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool if I did a short film that's under the rain? So I looked online and I found a bunch of tutorials on how to create a rain rig, which I did. It really didn't cost a lot of money, maybe $50 at most or something like that. And I was able to do rain in my short film. Well, guess what? When you're not in a climate controlled studio, well, that means that the water coming out of the hose is going to be cold, which means that even though I was shooting this really spectacular scene and everything looked great on camera, well, me being the actor in it and the other actor in it, we were freezing our butt off. But in the end, the film turned out great, which is awesome, but people don't really realize how cold we were, how miserable we were, and how lucky we were to not actually get sick after such a cold shoot. But in the end, I did have fun doing it, and I would still do it again if I had the choice, just because it looked great. But this is, again, just to prove to you that people don't really realize that acting looks good, it looks fun when you're seeing the final product. But then once you realize that there's actually a whole process that needs to be put in order to get to that level, then it becomes more difficult, because once you're doing it, well, you might not enjoy it in the same way. So by taking that class, by exploring different types of acting, you're going to figure out if you do like putting in that hard work, or if you just prefer to watch people act on screen. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. I always enjoy them, and I'll see you next time.